All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back. Are you in the mood to be entertained? Because I'm in the mood to entertain people today. But we're going to start, well, actually, I guess later, we're going to talk about the FBI raiding John Bolton's house because I know why this is happening. I actually know why this is happening. Now, well, let me say I mean that in two different ways. Number one, there's actually a bunch of context in this article about what, like, the public facing criteria for why he's being raided, what he did, so on and so forth. A bunch of stuff I didn't know. But I'm going to tell you actually what is actually going on and why this is actually happening shortly. But we're going to start with a couple other stories first because, listen, dude, this is just one of those days where all of a sudden there are all these compounding, stories that all kind of sit on top of each other. Now, listen, I know this happened yesterday, right? That the court vacated Trump's $464 million fraud fine, but this is directly related to the John Bolton thing. And so I'm going to tell you exactly how it is related to the John Bolton thing, because it is. But we're going to start right here with this post from Kamala Harris. And, well, what does this have to do with it, Jesse on Fire? I promise I will, I'll tell you in a second. But Kamala Harris is, celebrating an anniversary with her husband, Dougie. And don't they look happy as a clam? Those two look amazing. This guy is my favorite person ever, y'all. Is he crazy in any way? Crazy? No. Why would anyone say he's crazy? You're like, I don't know. Have you read anything about his history prior to marrying you, Kamala Harris? Like, this dude has a pretty questionable background when it comes to the ladies. You know what I mean? And I'm going to tell you exactly what that is in a second. After we handshake, that you will subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, and like this video, because that's the deal. This video is not free, dude. Okay? You don't have to pay money, but that's how you pay. You have to subscribe if you're not subscribed. You got to click the like button and whatever. Anyway, but all right, let's jump into this thing though. Okay, so the reason why I laugh every time I see these two together, like doing like a happy pose, is because if you guys recall, I'll tell you two stories about Dougie that happened prior to him getting together with Kamala. First, I'll tell you the one that happened like literally like months before he met Kamala, because, well, I guess I have to do this in order. I take that back. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go all the way back. So he's married. He has kids, so on, so forth, etc. He has an affair with the kid's tutor or the teacher at the kid's school. And it turns into some kind of like fatal attraction type thing. It sounds like with the girl. She's pregnant. No one really knows what happened, but the cops got called to her house, and then suddenly she was no longer pregnant, and no one's ever talked about it. She's definitely signed an NDA. I mean, probably signed an NDA. Don't sue me. But yeah, she was pregnant with his kid. That's how he ended up getting divorced, because he had an affair with the kid's teacher, got her pregnant. Cops end up at her house, and then suddenly she is no longer pregnant. We're not really sure if there was violence. We don't know, like something real bad happened. So that's how his marriage splits, right? So now he's single. Right before he starts dating Kamala, right? He goes to, I think it's the Cannes, don't quote me on this. It's like, I think it was the Cannes Film Festival. I think. It was some big event like that was in Europe, where it's all like the big A-listers or whatever. And he brings this woman that he just started dating, who is an attorney in New York. Okay. Like, she's like a legit, like she's not some like, yacht groupie. She's like a stone professional, right? And she had been dating him for a brief period of time. He brings her out to, again, I feel like it was cons, but anyway, he brings her out with him, and they're waiting in line. Now, she said that the whole night had gone swimmingly. They had had a great time. Everything was going well. She was having a great time. She felt really comfortable with him. And they were in the valet line waiting for their waiting for their car. And he's not in a position to like jump the line, because everyone there is a special, like he's no more elite than everybody else who's waiting for their line, for their cars. So the lawyer that he's there with goes up and puts her hand on the shoulder of the valet guy and like asks him for something or other, you know what I mean? Like something like, is there any way we could get to the front or whatever? And she comes back, and Dougie, in front of 100 fucking people, just goes, whop, and slapped her as hard as he could across the face. He hit her. Okay. Like they've been together for like a couple months max. And out of absolute nowhere, he hit her in front of an entire valet line full of people. And she freaked out, obviously, right? He ends up forcing himself into, like, she ends up trying to get into a cab to get away from him. He forces himself into her car. She ends up calling one of her friends on the phone to make sure that they knew she was with him at the time of being in the car, because she was afraid he was going to kill her. Like, I mean, she was like that was her purpose of calling her friend, was she was like, I wanted everyone to know that I had been with him just in case. Okay. So that is Dougie. Okay. And that was like not a long time at all before he started dating Kamala. So I'm sure that their relationship is super rock solid, you know? So happy anniversary, guys. I'm glad that I could help, educate people on your super healthy relationship. Anyway. All right. So here's the thing on the Trump's $464 million fraud case and how this all connects. All right. So if you are unfamiliar with this case in general, right, the $464 million, fraud fine, this had to do with the thing where they said that he had overvalued his buildings when he was pulling these loans out, right? Like, he's pulling out loans against his assets and then, whatever. And they're like, oh yeah, he said that his buildings were much higher in value than they actually were. $464 million fine. And it's like, okay, but you understand that the way that actually works is you, person who owns the building and is taking out the loan, you can say, yeah, my building's worth this. Okay. The only reason the value of your building is even moderately relevant is because the bank is assessing the value of those buildings as collateral against the loan that they're giving you. So if you don't pay it back, they can go seize these things and then theoretically sell them to recoup their, the balance of their loan. Okay. So you could say your assets are worth whatever you want. Okay. It's the bank's responsibility to go do due diligence and have them appraised so that they know whether or not you've inflated the value. Okay. So like, this is absurd. Every single real estate investor, when this thing happened, they're all, what? They're like, this is not a crime. He said the bank is the one who requires an appraisal. Now, if Trump went and made fake appraisals, that is a totally different thing. But that is not, as I understand it, what had happened. If you like a juked appraisal where you like pay somebody and you're all say it's worth this, where they know that they're lying. I mean, yeah, that would be fraud. As far as I know, that is absolutely not what happened. And this was just another example of them using the justice system to try to come after him. This was when this happened. If he would have not been able to go public with Truth Social to get all that liquidity, they were coming after Trump Tower. They wanted to take Trump Tower from him. They wanted to take Mar-a-Lago. They had a judge say that Mar-a-Lago was worth like $18 million. Mar-a-Lago worth $18 million. Are you like, dude, my buddy's house out here is worth $11 million. That's not like a flex or whatever. I have one very wealthy friend out here. Okay, but I think that Mar-a-Lago might be a slightly bit more valuable than 18 million. It's like $1 billion property. It's absurd. West Palm Beach, Florida is like the most valuable real estate in the country. It's just ludicrous. It's like the whole thing. The courts are rigged, dude, in many cases, in that case, for sure. And so that's why they did this. But then once he went public, he was able to fend this off and now it got overturned. This should have never happened in the first place. And the reason why I say that has directly to do with what happened here with John Bolton is, what do you notice about all of the cases that seem to be falling on Trump enemies, right? Like everyone's all, oh my God, he's turning the Justice Department into his own revenge campaign. It's like, I mean, maybe, I don't know. But you know what I find very probably not coincidental is the charges that keep landing on these people are the exact same things that landed on him. Example, FBI raids ex-National Security Advisor John Bolton's home in classified documents probe. Does that sound familiar? Anybody raid any of Trump's properties in a classified documents probe? You know what I mean? It's like, you guys did that to him. He's doing the exact same thing back to you. Letitia James and Schiff. Oh, now you're facing mortgage fraud. It's like, that sounds pretty familiar to another case. Could it be exactly what you guys tried to pull off here? Except, you know what I mean? So like, yeah, he is absolutely, for sure. There is a part of this that is, using the exact mechanisms that were used against him back against his enemies, at least in my opinion. But this is exactly why I was against it when they were doing it to Trump. I was like, did they not understand? The reason no one's ever done this before is because everyone knows once you take the lid off of that, take the genie out of the bottle or open that Pandora's box, pick your fucking metaphor. This is now the way that we do politics. Okay? This is the way we do politics now. Now we're trying to put our political enemies in jail. Okay? And I realize that probably doesn't sound like that. Well, actually, I take that back. I have really smart viewers, so it probably sounds exactly as big of a deal it is because it's a really fucking big deal. But if you want to just dumb it down to like the simplest thing that you could possibly, pull out of it, who on earth is going to go into politics? Who is going to aspire to go to, the top end of politics if they know if it increases the likelihood that they end up inside of a jail cell by 50-fold? Okay. Avoiding jail is probably most people's top priority. I mean, it's like a priority you don't really need to worry about, if you don't commit crimes. But that's my point. Okay. Like when the left was doing that, oh my God, I don't remember what this is. The No Kings protests, right? And this was right when they had been rioting in LA, No Kings protests. And my buddy Heavy Duty Country was like, dude, let's go downtown Austin during the No Kings protests. And I was going to go. And then I realized, I'm like, you know what, dude, I'm going to pass. And the only reason is specifically because my prioritization is don't end up in jail and then everything else. And if one of these lunatic lefties, tries to come at, like, there's a million ways that I could end up in some kind of violent altercation that I did not intend to get in. And then now I'm facing a charge with a leftist district attorney in Austin. Like, and then they're going to come to my YouTube channel. They're going to start looking. Hey, how long would you think it would take them to find clips of me that would make them hate me so much that they'd want to throw the book at me? Probably not very long. And so I didn't go, I didn't go. I'm pretty proud of that decision, to be honest. But, it's like no one is going to go into politics for that reason. All right, so now let's read about the actual details of this case. All right, so FBI agents raided a Maryland home, Washington, D.C. office of John Bolton, security probe involving classified documents. Federal agents went in Bolton's house at 7 a.m., ordered by the FBI Director Kash Patel. Trump administration told the Post they later went in Bolton's office, but did not enter until a judge signed a warrant for the location on Friday. No one is above the law. FBI agents on a mission, Patel said in a cryptic X right before the raids began. Dude, look at Bolton's poor wife, dude. Dude, look at her. She's like, Jesus. The FBI. What are you guys doing here? This is John Bolton's house. Are you? That looks like, that was like an accurate kind of emptying of her thoughts right there. It's just like, I had a thought and then now I just went blank. She looks blank right there. Okay, so here's where we get into like the details of exactly what was going on here though. So he has not been arrested currently and is currently not charged with any crimes. Here's what Trump said. I actually saw this interview and he said he's not a smart guy, but he could be a very unpatriotic guy. We're going to find out. The raid came at the behest of Patel, with the president claiming he had no advanced knowledge of the operation. Okay. Okay. Wait a minute. You investigated and then ultimately raided John Bolton, who was once a direct report aide to the current president, who is your direct boss, and you didn't run it by him that you guys were going to do this? All right. I'm buying it, dude. That seems super, super likely. But at the same time, of course Trump knew. But he can't say that he knew, because then it looks like they are like framing Bolton, right? Like, I don't believe that these guys are going to charge anyone with crimes that are not actually crimes, Like, the thing about those mortgage fraud crimes is they are crimes. The Richard, I always do that, dude. Adam Schiff one, it's like he claimed that he was taking a loan out on an owner-occupied house when it's not an owner-occupied property. It's like, ooh, that's crime, dude. That's mortgage fraud. Or that might have actually been Letitia James that did that. Either way, they are actually crimes. But anyway, neither here nor there. Okay, so Trump said, I know nothing about it. I just saw it this morning. I tell Pam Bondi and I tell the group, I don't want to know, but if you have to do what you have to do, I don't want to know about it. I could know about it. I could know about it. I could be the one starting, and I'm actually the chief law enforcement officer, but I feel that it's better this way. Dude, that's one of the funniest things that he does is every time that he talks about this stuff, he's like, he can't just say like, no, I'm not involved. He has to go, no, I'm not involved. He's all, but just so we're clear, I could be, I could be involved. I'm not, but I'm just saying like, if I wanted to, I could, because that's the power of the presidency. Okay. You ever looked at the, the job description and what kind of power I hold? Because absolutely 100%, I could be in charge of this. And I could be sending my deputies out to arrest whoever I want, because I'm the chief law enforcement officer in the world. But I'm not. So I'm just letting you know that I could if I wanted to. It's not unusual for a president not to have been informed of ahead of an FBI raid. Traditionally, the Justice Department has worked independently of the White House, especially on matters potentially tied to domestic politics. For example, former President Joe Biden said he was not given a heads up about an August 2022 FBI raid of Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate to recover national security papers sought by the National Archives. Oh, is that right? Well, do you think that they didn't brief him because, they were working independently, or because Biden wouldn't have known whether or not they were talking about like Monday lunch plans or a raid on the former president's fucking property? They're all, so we have reason to believe that we can frame him with this stupid, whatever, like National Archives documents thing. And bottom line, it's going to make him look bad. It's going to make him look bad. Okay, Mr. President. So we're going to go ahead with that. And Biden's like, huh? They're all, huh? He's like, huh? Did you hear anything that we said? What? Yeah, I did. Good, rock and roll. They're all, wait, hang on. Did you hear what we said? Yes. But go ahead, one more time. Like, why would you brief him? He can't keep thoughts in his brain, Trump's first Justice Department initiated a criminal inquiry into Bolton's alleged disclosure of national secrets in his 2020 book, The Room Where It Happened. The Biden administration later shut that probe down for political reasons. Yeah, as far as I understand it, though, like, Bolton wrote a book that was very critical of Trump, and in the book, he talked about things he was not supposed to talk about, and so they were trying to use that as the reason that he couldn't, like, put the book out or whatever. But yeah, so they're saying that this is a larger classified leaking probe that extends into the Biden administration. And they're also going to be scrutinizing whether they included passing information to foreign clients or media outlets. And in case you guys have not been keeping up on the whole Comey thing, yeah, okay, they basically have pinned a tail to that donkey. They're like, yeah, he definitely 100%. Wait, what is going on here with my thing? Anyway, it doesn't matter. He coordinated with other people and then leaked information that was classified to the media outlets in order to XYZ, and he's going to be prosecuted. Dude, I'm telling you, these guys are getting prosecuted. I'm telling you right now, everybody thought it wasn't going to happen. It's going to happen. They are going to prosecute these guys. Okay? And candidly, would you do any different if you were Trump? These people turned the entire country against you. They tried to shoot you, all that. Like, would you not prosecute the criminals who committed all of these crimes, and which all were aimed at undermining and destroying your presidency? Like, of course he's going to prosecute them. He has nothing but, it's all his people now. DOJ, Pam Bondi's his people. Cash and Dan Bongino, his people. Okay? So anyway, that's what's going on. I love you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell. Bye-bye.